Alrighty guys, so this is the Blizzard speedrun build that I posted a few weeks ago. We have teleport and our enhance. This is how we get around fast. We have fireball. Whenever we kill an enemy, it explodes and this causes a chain reaction. This is how we're able to kill and detonate a lot of enemies. On our helmet, we have Shaco. This gives us +4 to everything. The resource and cooldown is very important. We have raiment on our chest. This allows us to stun enemies every time we teleport. We teleport very often. On our gloves, we have frozen tundra. This makes our spikes explode bigger, so it hits more targets. Lucky hit restores resource. It's pretty nice. And crit chance. And ideally I would want attack speed, but I don't have that on these gloves. On our pants, we have tibaults will. This gives us mana back and also gives us more damage. On these boots, this is a wasted aspect slot since I'm not using any basic attacks. So ideally you would want to use boots to give you more move speed or ghost walkers. The only reason I'm using these boots is because the current meta is to stack as much shrine duration as possible. And what shrine buff duration does, it extends the shrine duration. But the reason you want that is because there's these shrines that give you double points. And in order to get a lot of points, you need to have those double shrines, and you need to kill a lot of enemies during that window. The shrine buff duration also helps extending the duration of your channeling shrine, which is very important, especially for Blizzard builds, since it's very mana intensive. So channeling shrine and the artillery shrine are very good for Blizzard. For our main hand, we have Glacial. Now, the only reason I'm using Glacial here is because the enemies die so fast anyway, so it doesn't really matter where you put Glacial. Ideally, you would want to have it on your next slot so you can have more damage. But I feel that having more attack speed on the next slot is just more beneficial. But you could play around with that. I think Glacial on the main hand suffices enough damage, but you could probably put the Glacial on the neck instead. The only reason I'm not swapping it is because I don't have another max Glacial and I don't have another max Ancient Flame, so I'm just going to stick with what I have right here. Ideally for the stats you want int, all stats, close, and it's the standard damage profile. Damage is slowed, is not doing anything for us, so I would want to reroll that stat. For the offhand, we have Conceited, cooldown, resource regen, very important. Tarasha Ring, and over here on this ring, I'm using Storm Swell. I was experimenting with accelerating, but we had enough attack speed to get by it. I would rather prefer to have more boss damage, because the slowest part of this build is the start. But once you start zooming around the map and collecting enough shrines, you're able to sustain the damage profile with the shrines. But you need damage outside of that shrine window, so that's why I use Storm Swell. The stats you want: crit chance, crit damage, close, and vulnerable, and resource regen for this build. And for the necklace, we have shrine buff duration, very important for this current meta. Cooldown reduction, ranks to devouring, and you can just put another DPS aspect instead of total armor. And over here, for our pet, we have Tempest, Evernight, Burning support, and Resource support. And over here we have Flash of Adrenaline, Genesis, Duration, and Tactical. You might be wondering why I'm using Resource support here and on my rings and offhand. But the thing is that at the very start of the run, I don't have access to Channeling Shrine right off the way. And I want to have access to it until I finish this whole entire lap. And until I finished almost the entire run. It is not until the last boss over here where I have access to Channeling Shrine. So the entire duration, I'm kind of mana starved. So I need as much resource generation as possible in order to sustain myself. That is the main reason. But once you have Channeling Shrine, you have infinite mana, so you can just go crazy pretty much. For the skill tree, pretty much very similar to my speedrun build, but I did make some changes. We just put 2 points here just to get to the next tree. These points here, you could probably move them over to Fireball, but it doesn't really matter. You just need to spend 4 points here to get to the next tree. But you could just put them here so your Blizzard does a little bit more damage, but it's not quite noticeable. So you could either move these points here or move them to Fireball. Doesn't really matter. Over here, max out Teleport. Over here, I just put 2 points here so I can have more mana regen. Over here, we just put 1 point in each. We don't need this extra survivability since the content's pretty easy. We just need enough to have more barrier uptime. So every time we teleport, we get a little barrier. But we don't need to invest too many more points into it. We just need more damage. We have Conjuration Mastery. This procs every time we spawn a Lightning Spear. And we spawn a Lightning Spear every time we proc Unstable Currents. And every time we teleport and evade, we have a chance to spawn Lightning Spears. So that's why we have this. Blizzard, more duration, very important. We had the Barring, just some more extra crit damage. Over here, every time we teleport, we do more damage. We put points in here for more damage for Blizzard. And we have more mana regen over here. And as well as over here. We have Unstable to give us more attack speed. And then we have our Estus Ferocity. This currently procs our attack speed aspect. Okay. For our Paragon, Winter. I do not know if Winter is actually working as intended. I don't know if it's giving us 15% multiplicative or if it's giving us 15% additive. As of last season, Winter was giving us additive damage, but I don't know if they fixed it and I couldn't be bothered to test. So I just keep it and hope that the multiplicative works. Otherwise, you could also swap this out for Flame Feeder. And Flame Feeder will give you 10% multiplicative to burning enemies. Our pet applies burning, and you do a flat amount of damage to burning targets. But I feel that since we're zooming around too fast, our pet cannot really keep up. So, I'm not sure if this is worth it. But, yeah, I don't know. You could probably experiment with that. Over here we have Tactician. We get 10% more damage every time we use a defensive skill. We're always teleporting, so we always have this active. This is on the Burning Instinct board. The next board is Enhancement Master. The main reason we're taking this is to reduce our teleport cooldown whenever we evade. This reduces it by 2.2 seconds, which is very noticeable. Elementalist here. More multiplicative damage. It stacks up to 15%. We have Fire, Cold, and Lightning to a target, which we do. Our Fire is from Fireball, Lightning is from Teleport, and Cold is from Blizzard. The next one we have Enchanter. This gives us 80% more non-fizz damage. The main reason we have this is so that we can have more non-fizz damage, so that we can max out Frigid Fate. The flat damage also helps quite a bit with just damage in general. The next points we put into Icefall here. This gives us more multiplicative damage. The next board we have Stalagmite. This makes our spikes do more damage and have a pretty good crit chance. We have Frigid Fate maxed out. Next board we have Ceaseless Conduit, and we put Destruction. Lastly, we have Control, and this is the Steering Heat board. And, yep, this is the run. And there could be more optimization for some of these aspects. This main hand, I could swap out the slowed for something else, and I could swap out damage to chilled to something else as well. But overall, it's not too bad. I guess the boots could probably be better, have an aspect that actually does something. But like I said, the only reason I'm using these boots is because of the shrine buff duration. Otherwise, I'd be using Flicker Step to have more uptime on unstable currents. But because the current meta is just to stack as much shrine buff duration as possible, that is the main reason I'm using this. Alright, hope this helped. Wish the Gauntlet was, I guess, better, but something for me to do, because I like to speedrun. Okay, bye.